Hello and welcome. Oh, I am so excited for today's stream. The grand finals of the holiday, Chan and Ranjan's holiday party Skud Pai Sho tournament. So exciting. It's been, what, a month since its start? And we've got arguably two of the most skilled players in the entire Pai Sho community at Skud Pai Sho facing off against each other. Oh, so exciting. Now, I'm gonna head back a few moves since we are a little bit late. So let's see. Do I have it reversed on? I do. Okay, Cannoli is host. I'll fix that real quick. Give me one sec. Every time I change it, it's no longer centered. I have no idea why. Welcome, Habadababu. Difficult name to say. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And thank you. So, Monkey Yatsu starts off with a rose, then a jade. Classic Monkey Yatsu. Alright. Interesting. And you let me know if the background music is too loud or too soft, or if my voice is too soft. Anything wrong with the stream. I want this to be perfect. Ah, man, so exciting. Ooh, snap. 10 viewers is definitely the most I've ever had for a single stream. And welcome everybody. I'm glad the tournament is drawing such a crowd. Alright, it is Monk Gyatso's turn. I'm gonna take a swig of water. Oh, you want something more exciting, huh? Alright. Okay. How's this for exciting? And yeah, no, this is definitely a new opening. I don't think any of us have seen this before. I was expecting, so here, Monkey Yatsu moved his rose up 3, instead of moving it up 2 and 1 to the left. And I kind of expected him to do that, because, you know, I've come to kind of expect that from him. Anyway, so Monkey Yatsu called the jade at the bottom. Only brought his rose down 3. Not harmonizing with the jade. Probably just because he doesn't need the harmony. Tom, you bring up an interesting point. I have played this music on stream before, and I haven't had a problem with it. Yeah, no, this is not the last Agni Kai. This was the Agni Kai between Zuko and Zhao. Anyway, if I do get a DMCA strike, then well, I guess I just won't play this music anymore. I'll just stick with royalty-free music. That is what I was playing before, but Aitan kind of Aitan. Even after he told me how to pronounce it, I still have trouble pronouncing it. He suggested something a little more upbeat, something a little more exciting. Oh, okay, so the plan was to also have a guest or two. So I'm gonna go ahead and invite those guests.
I can join.
Hey Yagalo, you are already on stream. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hello?
Hey, Pronto Wander or Chan, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah, Prone or Chan. Both
Sounds
are
good. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I am thrilled.
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of like the climax. This is very climactic,
Oh yeah,
to say the least.
definitely.
Like, there's been plenty of build up to these.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we are currently awaiting on Monk Gyatso's turn. And what do you guys think of the tournament so far?
Go ahead, Yagalo, since you're a contender, or we're a contender.
Well, I kind of set up myself with this goal of like, I remember that between the tournaments, Cannoli like had his big explosion in skill where he got very noticeable.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I kept going up against him and losing. And I made myself this goal to beat him at least once before the tournament began. And eventually I did that, and as such, I set myself up as like being a contender against Cannoli.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did not work that well, but it was this like a goal of mine, and like now seeing Cannoli in this like finals is quite a fascinating just observation, this culmination of Cannoli's rise from the last tournament, because and very much the time between the tournaments can very much be seen as this time of Cannoli's rise.
Yup. Definitely. And Habarabu, I am currently working on increasing their volume without making the music too loud. I might be able to have it taken sound from Discord separately from just the desktop sound, but I don't know. I'd probably have to fiddle around with that later.
I'm pretty sure the reason there's no harmonies is because, well, now there's a harmony, but I'm pretty sure part of it is Gyatso can't get any harmony bonuses, not noticeably at least.
Yep.
So he doesn't really need them. As such, he's delaying it for now.
Yeah.
In order to get a harmony bonus at a later date. Turn.
Yeah, so like Cannoli would not want to get rid of, well, I suppose it wouldn't matter that much if Cannoli were to relinquish control of the, what is that, Western Gate?
Yeah.
Because Gyatso can take his Lotus out of the gate and put a Jade in there, and get to where he wants to go in the same number of moves as if he was in the opposite gate.
Cannoli just used Knotweed quite early, which is kind of out of character for him. Needs to be more cautious with his. Cannoli tends to be more cautious with his uses of action tiles, but
it does seem to be well placed though. Although
it is well played.
Gyatso can easily use a boat to get rid of it, but then of course he'd be left without a boat. So I guess we'll see what they do. So, Tom, that's an interesting question. So Cannoli could of course have played this on the Knotweed on the Jade to prevent the harmony with the White Lotus, but instead he put it on the Rose.
It's to prevent the White Jade from below to coming up with a harmony, because right now he wants to sort of take control of the southern gate as well. At least that's my interpretation here. And as such, he wants, moving up from below, he doesn't want the White Jade to harmonize it.
Very intense. And yeah, as Spinks just said in the game chat, I'm also very curious to see how that early White Lotus is going to fare for Monk Gyatso.
Knowing Cannoli, I feel like that early White Lotus might end up working towards Cannoli's ring if Gyatso isn't careful.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see an opponent's, to see someone's White Lotus used against them.
Yeah.
Okay, so with regard to the music, I have played copyrighted music on the server, on the stream before, and I didn't get DMCA'd, but that section of the stream was removed. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over to the royalty-free music, because I'd rather not lose the entirety of the stream because I played the Agnikai music. And in the meantime, I'll look for some more exciting royalty-free music.
Yeah.
So Yagalo, how did your third place match go?
I lost.
Oh.
Yeah, I lost to Momo. It was a decent match. It was quite an interesting match. But I did lose to it.
Well, that's
I did lose to her. It was yeah.
I'm going to pull it up on my end and look over it. I haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah, very early on, Momo basically got a advantage on me with an orchid, and she basically decimated my pieces. And for a very long time, I was trying to reposition myself in a way that doesn't destroy me instantly.
Yeah, 23 moves, that's a pretty good game. Although it is pretty short for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting from move, I'd say 12-ish.
That's when the
13-ish is when the Orchid came out, and I began kind of crumbling.
So is this the first game your opponent has gotten the Orchid out before you?
Oh no, it isn't. But ever since, like, again, I haven't used the Orchid as often as much since the last tournament, mainly because I basically got pummeled by Cannoli whenever I tried to. But I still use it quite often early. But Momo also is a pretty common Orchid player. Kind of why we were both the circuit of Orchids.
Yeah, it's she got that ring, and then you just couldn't take her Orchid because you would lose. So she was just able to keep eating for quite a while. That's tough. But yeah, it was a good match. Wheel win. I like wheels.
Yeah, wheel moves are always very interesting.
I wonder what percent of games end in wheel moves. Like,
they are the superior accent tile.
I'm not sure if they're superior. They're very good for victories, but they're not really good for much else.
Very true.
Yeah, I would say that wheels are probably the top, but boat is pretty effective too with diagonal, so you probably see a lot of wins with boats. And then every once in a while you just get an easy and you can just move it right into place. But usually,
that
I'm sure Scud could figure that out.
Yeah.
We could ask Scud.
It'd be quite interesting statistics.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Gingerbread Man trying to make a AI to run Scud, which could like run 1 million games and see which is the most effective strategy. But
I bet it's going to be a 4-5.
Ever since I lost 4-5 in my 4th round match against Cannoli, I've just been going whole hog for 4-5.
4-5 is what?
When you start with a red 4 and a red 5.
Oh.
Or a white 4 and a white 5.
Red 4, white 5.
So basically, in the 4th round, I lost a Cannoli out of nowhere. Brought up a 4-5 start, which he's apparently been holding up his sleeve for like a long time. And preparing against so I got caught completely by surprise and lost pretty quickly. And which is actually why in the semifinals I went for a 4-5, because I'm like, I have to like but didn't end up working really well for me. But I have been going like a lot for 4-5s.
Yeah, in your game against Cannoli, the part that sank you. So I only have ever played 4-5. I've never started 3-5 or anything else. So 4-5, and I'm pulling up the game real quick. But the part that sank you and happens every time when you move that when the 4-5 player moves the 5 out and it's on the neutral territory. The person.
Yes, I moved it 1 up instead of 2 up. I noticed that mistake almost immediately, but I didn't have time to undo it but I noticed it quite quickly that I.
Ooh, early Lotus. Interesting.
Yeah, that would have been the move I would have gone with, but Gyatso has a very different play style from me, so I wouldn't expect it. Like.
Well, the only way to protect his rose is to move it down 3 spaces to not be in the red garden. Interesting. But speaking of openings, an opening I used to do, which never got me any wins, was 5-5.
Yeah, we discussed this on the voice chat during the semifinals. That basically the core problem with 5-5 is that unlike a 3-3 opening, which is quite useful for host, a 5-5 has the problems of you don't have a reactive harmony bonus. In other words, you can't just put a
Right.
When you make a harmony bonus, you can't defend something.
Yeah, that's
Also-
probably why it never got me any wins.
Also, I was right. Noli's going for the hijacking a ring.
He might not. He might be. If Gyatso doesn't capture that rose, he might be thinking to move the rose down and the lily into place.
That's true. Either one works.
I don't really see any reason why Gyatso wouldn't capture the rose. There's nothing
I mean, it
stopping
gives him, it loses him the East Gate.
That is true.
Which can be damaging.
But there's already Cannoli already has a Jade in that area, so he doesn't really need. He could get one, two.
Yeah.
He could get within wheeling the Lotus in one turn if he moved the Jade 5 to the right, and then the
Sure.
Lily.
Very true.
So, or yeah. So I don't think he needs the
Ooh.
gate, but I think if he doesn't, if Gyatso doesn't block the gate, I think he might take the gate. But still,
Yeah.
I don't think he really needs it.
I think Cannoli might move his, depending on what Gyatso does, might move his Lily to -7, -3. That's
Yeah.
my bet.
That wouldn't.
And yeah, Sphinx, it
I
is
would-
interesting.
I would say that if he takes the rose, I would actually move to. Let me look at it. I would move right below that Jade to, and then take the East Gate.
Yeah.
If
with
you
the
move to
army.
-7, -1 and capture the East Gate, then you have that. If you move to -7, -3, as you mentioned, you're farther from a victory.
Well, if he planted what's he have? Does he have another Jade? If he planted a Jade, he would be able to make it
Exactly.
Yeah.
to the spot,
yeah.
but that would be the only one.
Either one would.
Jade.
Either one would. So it's really a preference over narrow versus wide rings, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cannoli is in a spot for 2 rings. That is if Gyatso doesn't capture the rose, and if he does, then it's really only 1 ring. But I was kind of zoned out there for a bit, so I don't know if you already just said this, but he could move the Lily out and plant something in the eastern gate, make a narrow ring. I don't know if I was kind of zoned out
I mean,
there.
yeah. That's what I would do, I guess, but that would also is potentially blockable.
Lily to -6, -1.
I would say that taking the rose is the best move for Gyatso because he's gonna lose the East Gate either way, and if he doesn't, he loses. He has 2 rings he has to contend with.
Yeah.
So I would say that the best option would be take the rose, knock 1 ring out of the running, and then move your Lotus to knock the other one out.
Yeah,
Or at least
Gyatso kind
label.
of really has to deal with that knotweed somehow, unless he wants to just start from scratch.
I guess that's an option. Taking the West Gate, I guess, is an option.
That's true if Cannoli moves his tile out, yeah.
But that would require a harmony which he lacks.
Hey,
the
Atharva.
ability to make right now.
Welcome to the stream.
Welcome. Yeah, it was it being Cannoli versus Gyatso was destined, one
Yep.
could say. No matter how much I tried to defeat Canoli twice. Did not save me. Hmm.
You know what?
Iago, do you like the sandbox? I just saw Sphinx post.
I don't really sandbox. Not during games, at least, but...
Captured the rose, then. Interesting.
So the question will be, what will the next Orchid move be? Is he going to move it south or west?
Another...
Honestly, if I was him, I would... If I was him and Canoli kept his Jade within reach, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is not.
Yeah, you could paralyze it, and also, actually, if Canoli moves to -7, -3...
Oh, he did it. -7, -1.
-1, yeah. I was about to say, if you moved it to -7, -3, then he could have blocked that Harmony Ring and paralyzed the Jade, but instead he went for the narrow ring.
Honestly?
So is Gyatso going to move the rose up to harmonize with the lotus to use an accent tile?
He could.
Actually, that could do it.
I personally would probably move the lotus up by 2.
Yeah.
Since...
I would move it to the side. I would move it to the side.
Which side?
Like, diagonally. I'd move it diagonally to 6 negative.
Well, but then he can boat it then.
That's true.
So I would move the lotus up 2 so that he can't really use it.
And there's the block of and then the Orchid is used as a block from a Harmony.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he's gonna do.
Also, using an accent tile, moving the rose up and using an accent tile, the problem with that is it blocks Gyatso's ring.
A little bit, yeah.
As well, so it's not as helpful.
I think Gyatso moving the lotus up by 2.
Yeah.
Or heck, even moving his Jade up by 1.
Oh, that's true. You could just moving Jade up by 1 doesn't help.
That's true. It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Or both. Really, either works.
Yeah.
What if you move the lotus down to?
That's true.
That actually that would help too. Yeah.
Actually, just moving it down. No, moving it down 1 to. Moving it down 2.
Yeah. You would want to move it down.
Yeah, 2 because otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, he moved the rose
for
up.
That. Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that move has potential detriments because Gyatso needs the East Gate more than Canoli does. And that move kills the East Gate.
The West Gate?
West Gate, that's the one. That's the one. I know East and West. What are you talking about?
I was like, oh, my image is inverted because I thought that was the West Gate.
No, I'm just confused.
Dude, even as a 4th-year college student, I sometimes get left and right mixed up.
Left and right? What are you talking about? Those aren't things.
Right?
So what's Canoli's move?
Wait. Yeah. Oh! Wait. I would have...
Oh, he didn't use the...
Interesting.
He didn't get rid of the knotweed.
Yeah, I would have gotten rid of the knotweed and then...
Well, that doesn't really put him
but then you
position.
wouldn't have a ring, yeah. This is better, yeah. Actually, here I would probably start using the orchid more aggressively here.
That's what I was thinking. It was moving the orchid in.
Yeah. Right now, if you move the orchid and try to like attack the corners, it could push him out a bit more. It's very fun to see the early orchid get refined by some of the better players.
Yeah.
Because I like to think of it as I kind of popularized using the orchid very early. And it's very fun to observe how it has evolved since I introduced it as basically just rush killing everything, and it fails spectacularly because by minor strategic planning.
My orchid is pretty much only used for gate control. I plant it and it very rarely comes out. I think I had one game where I went on a frenzy with it. The first match of the last tournament, I took like 8 pieces in 8 turns straight and just was able to move the orchid just perfectly.
Yeah.
To clear the board, but...
Oh, that's right. Habadababu, I remember you're a Vagabond player, aren't you? Sorry, that was just a side note.
No.
I keep reading about this this Adavar. Does anyone know anything about that?
No, actually, it's a mystery. I have no idea.
How is it pronounced?
It is pronounced Adevar.
Ah, I thought it was Adavar.
That is the most common pronunciation.
Yeah.
But
Adavar? Adavar?
Adevar.
Adavar.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the rolled R. I'm Russian, so that part isn't hard.
The rolled R is, well, I mean, it is a Romanian word, and Romanians always roll their R's. So it is like, I don't know. It's kind of like saying, is the people call it an accent above the A. It's not an accent. It's an entirely different letter. Like it has its own place in the Romanian alphabet. So like when you say if Romanian kids, when they learn the alphabet, they don't learn the letters, and then with accents, no, they learn it as separate letters. But it's like asking if that letter, if it's important for it to be a regular A or the special A, and for the proper pronunciation, it is.
So it's Adevar.
The A should be more like an Adevar.
Adevar.
Yeah, Adevar.
Adevar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite a Russian pronunciation, and it's a Romance language, which makes sense. But
you can, in the rulebook, there's a pronunciation thing. You can actually put that into Google, and Google will show you how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's in the rulebook.
So Gyatso can now make the harmony by bringing out that southern jade.
Oh yeah, the southern jade is now an option.
That might help. But you still have to
I know what he could do.
To actually get
I know what he could do, potentially. So to be fair, this is much more of a me move than a Gyatso move. But to be fair, Gyatso brought in early orchid, so I don't know what he's doing. So
he's doing the wheel of harmony is what he's doing.
Oh, that's true.
He's got the rose ready.
So bring up the southern jade, and then bring one of the 2 clashing tiles. In the west gate, to either clash with the white 5 or white 4, to push him out. To be fair, there's a knotweed, and he might want them to stay there, but the other option is to pull out a jade in the west gate, and then bring it in, and then bring it around Cannoli's jade, and harmonize with his rose, in order to allow for just the continuing to try to create his own harmony.
And do a big ring, like 6 tiles, 5 tiles.
Yes. I mean, expecting a ring of 6 tiles from these two is not an unexpected result. So far, Cannoli does seem to have a pretty sufficient advantage, though.
Yeah, I think his lily planted in the east gate is just to have that harmony to bow out the knotweed. Although the rose is blocking it out, or it's in case Gyatso does something with his lotus, he's set up for the ring anyway.
Yeah.
He could go. He can go north of the lotus.
What do you mean? Non-rectangular rings. Scud rings are not necessarily rectangular. They could be any shape you want them to be.
Oh yeah, there are tons of games with non-rectangular rings. I once had a ring that's like as thin as you can imagine, and just turned. It started from almost the gate, and was just too wide, and then turned right on the around the center, went down almost to the gate, almost to the southern gate, went up, and it was incredibly thin and non-rectangular. I haven't seen any just bent rings, like ones that have lots of branches, but they are possible.
You know what? Gyatso had a good idea in the game chat. I'm gonna go get a snack, because we're gonna be here a while.
This is accurate. I just started this thing eating, and I've completed my consumption of food.
We're waiting on Gyatso, right?
I think so, yeah. Gyatso's been
waiting on Gyatso.
On the slower side. To be fair, that's how Gyatso normally plays.
It was a good knotweed placement because...
Yeah, that knotweed placement was early, but perfect.
Because of Cannoli's knotweed, also, that western lily has to go down 3, because he can't move right 1 because he's still touching the knotweed, and he can't go into the red territory, and then if he goes down, you have to go down... Oh, I guess he has to go down 2 and over 1. So I think it probably is just easier to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Cannoli's going to do that. Or just try to move around it.
I think moving around it's the main benefit of the knotweed. It can kill a rose and or white 3. I don't remember all the names. In this game for like 3 years.
Gyatso went with the clashing rhododendron in the west gate. So that, I think, will force...
Okay, I'm sorry. Is he just... Yeah, it's going to force Cannoli's hand, but again, these are surprising moves from Gyatso, just historically knowing his playstyle. Because this is much closer to my general, more aggressive playstyle than Gyatso's.
Because Cannoli's going to have to move the Jade, but he can't move it close enough to the Orchid. But I think the Jade... I think the Jade might be... toast. To move it far enough away from 1, but keep it close enough to Lily.
So Cannoli might actually try to use the north gate here, where he basically sacrifices the Jade, but tries to bring something down from the north.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any more Jades left, but...
True.
Because, and he planted his Orchid, using the Lily on the east.
In order to take the Orchid, which could be quite beneficial.
Yeah, my guess is Gyatso's not going to give up his Orchid yet.
Yeah. That would be a surprise, though. As I have said before, the most important part about playing an Orchid is knowing when to sacrifice it. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say this is the right time to sacrifice it.
Yeah, I think the Orchid's going to move into the white territory, but blocking the west Jade from the east Lily at the top. Because it's going to have to. Someone's going to have to, because if Cannoli moves his Jade up 1, that'll make a harmony, and then he'll use his bow, get rid of the knotweed, and that's game.
I left for a snack and came back with an egg sandwich.
Ah, fun.
Artharva, yeah, you can share it anywhere you like, or where you think people will be interested in Pai Sho. Okay, so what happened while I was gone?
Yeah,
So
put a
Cannoli moves
clashing
away.
tile. Yeah.
If he moves the Jade up 1, and then he can vote the knotweed away.
Wait, what?
If he moves his west Jade up 1 to harmonize with his Lily in the east, then he can use the harmony bonus to plant his, or to use his boat to get rid of the knotweed, and that's a
I'm confused.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're talking about
Yeah,
Gyatso.
plus...
Or we're talking about Cannoli.
So Cannoli can do what?
Yeah, but Gyatso...
His western Jade on
West
the
Cannoli
left
is one
side
move
of
away.
the
To the left.
board.
Okay.
If he moves that up 1, it will make a harmony with the Lily on the east side.
Oh, and
And
then
then
he
he
can...
can use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gyatso either needs to block that harmony with the. He has to do
Or
it
he
with
can
the
he
Orchid.
can still take the he can sacrifice the Orchid and take the Jade, which would knock that out at least temporarily.
Yeah, but I don't think he has to. I think if he can just use the Orchid to block the Lily.
Oh, and in that case, you can move it away from paralysis zone. Like if he moved the Orchid
And just-
to like 2-2 or 2-3 or 3-2, he can attack. In fact, if he moves it to 4-2, actually, he'd be attacking both the white Jade and the Lily, and that would block the harmony. Which might actually be beneficial to him in the near future.
Yeah, if he can get to, I think, what did you say? 1, 2, 3?
4-2.
Yeah, 4-2, because then the next turn he could take the southeast Lily, or southeast Jade, which is safe currently because nothing can reach it. And then he could take the northeast Lily. And then at any point, which he did, okay, so he decided to go and just put more pressure on that western Jade, because now he could take it with either one. Although the Lily could reach it, so he will take it with the rhododendron instead.
So he went in the opposite direction. There's always a level of joy when you can predict someone's move before they make it. Even if that move is gonna, even like if it's in a game and you know that move is gonna make your life harder. When you know you can predict it, there's a level of enjoyment.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't think it was a bad move, but
Yeah,
I think
it was a bad move.
it does
I
put
would have
more
opted
pressure
for
on
the other
coin.
direction. I would have
Yeah, I
went in
think
the other
so.
direction, mainly because Cannoli currently lacks any red tiles. So the Orchid would be safer in the red garden, but
Yeah. The only problem with moving there would be Cannoli could just plant in the east gate.
this is
Something that
accurate.
would protect both, where he can't do that. You know, that Jade on the
Oh,
left
that's true.
is done
Okay.
on the west.
This is accurate.
But he's got to get back into offense too. He's pretty far from a ring. Oh, and the Orchid.
Interesting.
Oh, this is
Very
this is quite the
interesting.
move. This is quite the move. Ah.
Gyatso's
So if
kind
you're gonna
of...
lose the Orchid anyway.
Oh, I know what he'd do. Wait, would that work? Yes,
think
I
he
think
just
that'll
needs
work.
to-
He
Alright, go
raises the white jade to 0 or to 1 negative of 1 to 0 negative 1, and then which defends his blocks another harmony, defends his well, actually it doesn't defend his orchid. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It would help.
Ignore me. It would help, but I'm not sure if it would help enough.
I think the Orchid's gone, so he should just use it to take the Jade in the west.
Oh, true, yeah. Just take it with Jade.
But then he can't, because the other White Lotus isn't out, you can't take that other Orchid, so I don't know.
Well, he can take the Orchid, as he
could,
pleases.
yeah.
Just it would sacrifice his, it would be a loss.
No, what I'm saying, I'm saying is he can't take Cannoli's Orchid the next turn.
Yeah.
But he could move, so he does take the Jade.
He does take it, which
I was wondering
sacrifices
if he could move
it.
into the...
That's fair.
Oh, wait. Cannoli still has his Lotus to use.
Yeah, that's why...
That means he could, if he can plant a Lotus in the West Gate, that can actually, like...
So now
he can plant his Orchid in the...
Gyatso cannot give up that West Gate.
Yeah, because otherwise that Lotus can come in and pretty substantially miss.
So Gyatso could have moved his Orchid to, I don't know, I'm bad with these negative things, 2 to the right of the Western Lily. And it would have been safe from the Orchid, it would have been safe in the red.
And it could have done the point where it attacks both.
Yeah, he could have then taken the Lily and then taken the Jade with the Rhododendron.
Actually, yeah, that would have been an option.
But then the East Gate, or the West Gate would have been open, and he would have been easy to make harmonies to fill and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it may not have done much, but it would have stalled.
Well, the West Gate still wouldn't be open. The West Gate is still under control of the Rhododendron.
Yeah, well, what I was saying was, if he would have taken the Lily with his Orchid, and then the Jade in the top, Cannoli's Jade would have taken the Orchid, but then his Rhododendron couldn't take it because it's in harmony with the Eastern Jade, so he wouldn't have been able to take it anyway.
Yeah.
He'd be in the same position.
I would say an option would have been to move his Orchid all the way into the red, so like quite far into the red garden on the same line. Basically the point I was recommended earlier, which... of 4-2, which again attacks the Lily and the... attacks both the Lily and the Jade, but still doesn't take off pressure from the Western Jade. Then the Orchid still kind of can't do anything, and on the contrary, he still has pressure on the White Jade from that Rhododendron.
Yeah.
Which could have been a better move.
Yeah, I think going to the red would have been, obviously, with the outcome we just saw.
Yeah.
Would have been better that way. Although, again, just planting anything in the East Gate by Cannoli would have protected.
It would have protected it, but it would have survived the Orchid for a bit longer.
Yeah, and the one tile Gyatso has in the west that could have clashed and taken the Jade, the Rhododendron, he ended up using his Orchid to take anyway, so the Rhododendron's not really
yes,
play.
the Rhododendron is now trapped and not really useful. I guess the Rhododendron can be used to like... Oh, and the bottom, like... For... I guess... Yeah, the
Every
next,
tile
like,
in the south is a Jade.
Yeah. It makes it almost impossible to do anything with that Rhododendron.
Man.
That's the main problem when both players are using the same 2 tiles and then you try to bring out a clash. You can't harmonize with it, and it gets a little difficult.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to just look at how, in this dynamic of this game, Cannoli moved from a 3-5 to a 4-5 ring. Like,
yeah.
After he lost his Rose, he went fully into a 4-5 ring.
Yeah.
Which is smart because 4-5 is better.
Yeah.
So whose turn is it now? I guess it is Gyatso's turn, yeah. So will Cannoli bring the... Oh, he doesn't have any Jades left to play in the north, so he's got to either bring that southern Jade that's kind of hanging out in the middle up, or he's got to go with the Jasmine, I guess, which would take a while to get down.
I guess the goal for Cannoli is to somehow bait that rhododendron from leaving, into leaving the western gate.
I don't think it's going to happen.
That's true.
I hope it doesn't happen, I should say. I hope it doesn't happen.
He's
but
able
then the
to bait
question
it.
is, yeah. Which, I mean, Gatso's not too far away. He just has to switch
true. Now that,
the Jade and the Rose back.
Yeah.
But that knotweed is still...
Oh, but now that Cannoli doesn't have a full, like, ring orientation, he can actually do that much easier over here.
Yeah, he also has a little bit of breathing room. Which I guess that's probably what he's trying to figure out, is whether he wants to move the Jade up first or the Rose down.
Either way, he has to deal with that knotweed.
Yeah. And not having the harmony bonus, not that he needs it for, but just for gate control, not having the harmony bonus will hurt.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any special flowers left.
While Cannoli still has his Lotus, which can turn his Orchid wild. That's technically another option for Gyatso. Something I've seen in the past done is when there's a non-wild Orchid, you keep putting a threat on it so you can never bring out your Lotus.
Yeah.
Because bringing out the Lotus is... So for example, if he wants to bring his Jade up, he can bring it to -1-0 and attack the Orchid, which prevents a Lotus from coming out.
But if the Orchid moved down and froze, it would freeze both the Jade and the Rose at the same time.
And that is problematic.
I think you want to keep them at least one space apart. But what's the chance that Cannoli abandons east-west and goes north-south, since both of those gates are open?
Oh, quite likely, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, with my experience playing him,
especially because he still has his Lotus.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what his easiest... He doesn't really have a...
He'd have to start from scratch, but he... I mean, I guess he has that white Jade below, and he could try to pull the Lily from the west into part of the vertical ring.
I think if he takes the... Yeah. I think... I don't know. I think he could take the Lily, the East Lily, and bring it below the White Lotus to put some distance between Gyatso's two tiles. That would also make a harmony. Then he could use the harmony bonus to plant in the northern gate. Something that will harmonize with that southern Jade.
You could go back to a 3-5 and try to, like, put a Rose up there.
Go plant a Rose, yeah. And then Gyatso would be forced to... But it's Gyatso's move right now, so a lot of that depends on what Gyatso decides to do this next turn.
This is true. Another option for Gyatso is actually bring out a Lily in the East Gate. Because then you can try to you can try to, instead of... that wouldn't work, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, Gyatso doesn't have
many options.
His only route for a harmony man, the one thing I said Gyatso would absolutely not do.
Interesting.
He did it.
Yeah, that that was a mistake. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, he probably has a 3,000-year-old airbending technique he's about to pull on us, but I don't see.
Yeah, I would just go straight. I mean, he doesn't have a Jade, but I would like maybe pull a Rose down. Well,
so my guess is he's gonna move his Lotus next turn to harmonize and plant on that.
yeah. Oh right. I mean, the Lotus can't harmonize yet, but
Well, the Lotus could move left one and up one and harmonize with that rhododendron.
but that doesn't help because the rhododendron is Gyatso's, not Canoli's.
But it's Gyatso's Lotus right now. In the east.
Right, in the east. Oh, right, what Gyatso is intending. I mean,
Yeah.
Canoli. What Canoli is probably intending is to pull his
Oh,
Lotus
sorry.
out
Yeah, I'm
on
still on why Gyatso
Oh,
did
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no. Gyatso's probably intending for that, but... Which actually isn't too horrible a move, but it
Oh,
doesn't
you
use
guys
the
called
West
it.
Gate.
Looks like Cannoli's going for a vertical ring.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So smart. I'm so good at Pai Sho. I'm so good at commentating. kind of giving up on playing.
Your
So
Jamaican accent. I've never actually played you, Prone, somehow.
I know. I was looking at that. You missed my prime. Now I'm just now people just invite me to talk on streams and stuff. So I think I think he's gonna move the Lotus up and he's gonna plant. The only problem is there's nothing because he can then move the Jade in the east to harmonize with the Lotus, but then he has to plant 2 tiles to harmonize his Jade to his rhododendron in the end.
Oh,
So
maybe
that's the
Gyatso predicted the same thing that we did, the vertical ring. So he was
And
willing
so
to
he just-
sacrifice the West Gate because he wasn't expecting Cannoli to take it, which is what happened. Cannoli didn't take it.
But now the question is, well, yeah, because Cannoli could have gone back to it. I guess Cannoli was already decided.
Also, he can Lotus between. Also, he can create a Lotus harmony between the red 5 and white 5, and then just put in like 2 tiles below to harmonize between them, and just start using the West Gate to pump out tiles to make the ring, to finish up the ring.
Yeah. So I think, man, he's got to play defense. I think he's going to use the Lotus, make the harmony. The question is, I think he's going to block the southern gate because the closest thing that can harmonize down there is the Lily that's in the northwest. But
Yeah.
he didn't do gate control on the left, so I don't know. Maybe he's not wanting to use gate control. Maybe he wants to.
Maybe, you know what Cannoli could do right now? Right now, Cannoli can pull out his Lotus and and make his Orchid wild, and then strike at his current ring or the Rose and such.
But all Gyatso would have to do to stop that is plant in
Something
the
in the
western gate, because then the rhododendron's safe and the Rose is safe from the southern
south.
gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't. I bet that is what's going to happen next. Is he probably will plant the. Although that knotweed on
The other option is putting
his
another.
own knotweed will hurt him using a Lotus. He has to get out 3
Yeah.
spaces.
Yeah, maybe he puts either a Chrysanthemum north or another Rose south, and goes just full for that vertical ring, expecting if he rushes a vertical ring, he might be able to get there faster than Gyatso if he just plays no defense.
Yeah.
Because Gyatso currently don't have the tiles to make a full ring.
I'm still trying to figure out what Gyatso's plan for the southwest is going to be. What tile combination?
Maybe he pulls out a chrysanthemum to...
You would need a chrysanthemum and a rose.
Yeah.
Both.
A negative... Well, he does have a rose.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, yeah. So then,
he's going to have to kill the knotweed. He's going to have to kill the knotweed, but if he does, he puts out the chrysanthemum, gets rid of the knotweed. First of all, if he pulls out a chrysanthemum, he threatens the lily. Which I guess Cannoli isn't focusing on that lily, but nonetheless it is a threat. Then pulls it down. Harmonizes with the jade. Gets rid of the knotweed, and then can start working towards that.
Yeah, so I think what Gyatso's going for, like you said, is going to be rhododendron in the northwest, south to a chrysanthemum, east to the rose, east to the jade, and then up to the lotus. But the question is, will he do it above or below or through Cannoli's knotweed?
Yeah.
But I think we'll know if the chrysanthemum comes out. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he may use the chrysanthemum rhododendron harmony to get rid of that knotweed.
But there's also the fact that you can't, you have to deal with the lily still, since the lily's still there and it has to be captured at some point.
Oh, that's true. He can't do that because he would be within 4 of the lily, so he does have to. But I guess he's probably guessing that when he plants the chrysanthemum, the lily is going to push into the white garden.
Yeah.
At least 2, but probably to get closer to harmonizing with something over there.
Yeah.
Decisions. This is. Oh man, I'm glad I'm not on their side. It's a lot more fun being over here.
Yeah.
Professor,
What's up?
you're not out of the zone. I watched you play. You went undefeated.
That
You're
was
one of the
just
top 5
luck.
Skud players in this tournament.
Hey, okay. I didn't play, what was it, 2 or 3 of my tournament games, so I didn't play half of my games. Scud ended up taking half of my games, so I don't know if I'd say I went undefeated.
Well, you went undefeated in your 2 games.
That's true. That's true.
You know, we had one team that dropped out like after the first round. They
Yeah.
went undefeated. I didn't put them in. I guess I should have put them in as undefeated players.
I will say, if I had
I'm
been up against
technically not undefeated
Gyatso,
because I went up against Cannoli.
yeah. If I had gone up against Gyatso or Cannoli at all, then I definitely would not be undefeated.
Hi.
Made a
Those
move.
2 are quite the challenge to beat. I can make Gyatso even occasionally, but going,
That
So
is
I called
pretty much
after
what
the-
I was expecting.
wait,
The lotus
that's
went up, but I was surprised the chrysanthemum went to the.
Yeah.
East Gate. I was
Yeah.
expecting that to be in the West.
Hmm.
So I guess he's
guess-
going to take out the lily there, but I don't know. I think Cannoli, but you never know with Cannoli. Cannoli may be
Right.
faking the north-south gate,
That's
and
true.
so Gyatso's just going to take out that lily. Anyway,
Uh,
and then that would make a harmony, and then he could plant another chrysanthemum. Oh, and Gyatso's or Cannoli doesn't want to get rid of that lily. See,
Interesting.
Cannoli's a trickster. Cannoli hasn't given up on the east-west yet.
And now, excuse me, I don't think Gyatso can get that chrysanthemum into the red garden.
I don't think Cannoli has as much of a advantage anymore. I think Gyatso has like taken not an advantage, but at least like recovered from his
Yeah.
initial slump.
Yeah, I forget. There was a couple moves ago where he could take a breath at least.
And then
It was,
he used
I guess it was when he captured that jade with his orchid. So now my guess is the chrysanthemum is going to go into the south, over left 2 and down 2 to make a harmony with the Lotus and be out of reach of the Lily. Because he can't get it into the red. So he'll go to what?
You can go to north.
I'm terrible with my negatives here.
You can go to north and harmonize with the Lotus and still pull something out.
But if he goes
Which would be
6
out of-
to 6 -2, that'll make the harmony, and then he can plant in the west gate.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But at this
no,
point,
he's gonna
he
undo that.
has a.
Interesting.
So he's.
So what's he gonna do then?
Man, what is... I am having a hard time seeing inside their brains.
Hard to analyze the brains of geniuses.
I
Right.
think Cannoli is just gonna give up. Yeah,
Ooh.
I was surprised when he went that way, but
Yeah.
so and he went
And
with
one for the northern chrysanthemum. In that case, he probably is just surrendering that ring. So now it's worth no. Oh, right. He still has the lily to protect against the chrysanthemum and the.
Yeah. So
Mm.
Cannoli is.
It's never good to
So is Cannoli
play a
gonna
move that
bring
your
out
opponent
the-
expected.
Yeah, is Cannoli gonna bring the Lotus out or the Rose out in the south?
Honestly,
I think the rose.
Either will
yeah.
work.
There's not really a need for a
Because-
Lotus here.
Yeah. Plus, he doesn't
Except
want
that
to.
it puts pressure on the rhododendron because of the
That
orchid.
is true.
That's true.
And if it can work for both.
Plus,
the
he's gonna
problem
have to
with the
remove his. He's gonna have to remove his knotweed either way.
Right. Or get his...
Well, he could go wide.
Orchid out of the way.
So,
Or he could go wide. But at that point, the difference between the orchid, the lotus and the rose isn't that substantial to go wide.
Yeah. And at this point, Gyatso doesn't really need that rose in the middle. Although he still could use it.
You could use it to harmonize between two chrysanthemums on opposite sides, but
Yeah,
assuming
or that
the,
bottom jade, if he brought that. Well, either one of the jades. The one's already harmonized with it, but I was thinking the east jade.
I think either party is going to have to remove that knotweed at some point. Maybe
Yeah.
Gyatso is just waiting for Cannoli to do so. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of a
think
game of
Gyatso-
chicken over who's going to remove the knotweed
Yeah.
first, because it's in the way of both of them.
I think Gyatso will take with his chrysanthemum, take the lily, and then use the harmony bonus to plant in the south,
That would
Yeah.
be the expected
which will
move,
buy
yeah.
him a lot more time. Because the lily will not. Yeah, he should do that. I say has to. He should do that because then there's nothing on the board that will harmonize with that northern chrysanthemum and the jade in the south for Cannoli. So then Cannoli would have to plant in the west gate and come all the way over.
You know what? I am... Ooh, you know what? We have so many people watching this stream. Let's do a little bet type of thing, where everyone votes on who they think is gonna win. And at
Who
the
do they
end,
think is going to win?
yeah,
Huh.
there's nothing
Stalin.
at stake. It's just a little vote.
Quite interesting. Okay. I might have been convinced. Cannoli may have, I might be a victim of Cannoli exceptionalism, but I think Cannoli's going to win.
All right. Okay.
So I have never lost to Cannoli. I have lost to Montiazzo.
You've never lost to Cannoli?
I've never lost to Cannoli.
When was the last time? How many times have you played Cannoli?
I've played him 3 times. Once was my first time was in the tournament, and then the last 2 times were both in October. So it has been like 6
Okay.
points for him. But he was still fairly popular at the time.
How
and he
many
did
times
get
have you played
better.
Gyatso?
The second game was better. The third game was kind of like my first one against him. But that second game, he was pretty good. So I don't know. I think, but I've only ever played Gyatso once.
Oh.
And I learned a new rule that I don't know how won the 57-person tournament. Didn't know about this, and so that messed me up in there.
What was the rule?
So I actually I was very close to winning. It was like the 6th or 7th move, and I had the typical 4/5 chrysanthemum, rhododendron, rhododendron, and then to the lily. And I used my harmony bonus to boat him into harmony, so he didn't have a harmony.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't play a knotweed. And I was going to wheel my next turn. Instead, he planted in the south gate, and I didn't know that you couldn't use a wheel near a flower in the south gate.
Oh,
I didn't know that, and so I couldn't wheel my piece into play. And after that, I was just I really wanted my boat back. So
who do you guys? So Yakulu, you already said you think Canoli's
so
gonna win.
I do think, I don't know, Cannoli is, watching his games, he's pretty good. But I'll go with Monkiazzo just because Yagula went with Cannoli. What's the fun in everyone?
Oh, you got me torn here. Now I don't know who to pick. If you had picked Cannoli, I would have picked Gyatso. Well, I've played against Cannoli once or twice. I don't think I've played against Gyatso. Cannoli is exceptionally skilled, but so is Gyatso. This could really go either way.
I've played against both of them quite extensively. My matches against Cannoli tend to be a lot more one-sided. Like right now, I'm in the middle of. I haven't been playing it during this match, of course, but in theory, I'm in the middle of a game with Gyatso that I'm pretty far down the line winning.
Okay.
And
there it is.
Man, I always get the move right, but I never get the harmony bonus right.
I mean, we pretty much said that, didn't we?
Well, we said he would. I said he would block the south.
Yeah, because I mean, heck, that would be the best thing to do.
Cannoli is going to bring out the chrysanthemum, and he's going to plant in the south.
Yeah.
Unless Gyatso is a move away from winning, but I don't think so. And he did.
There it is.
That. Oh, but why did he plant? So he's going to do.
Oh, he's going to pull out the lotus. He's going to pull out the lotus.
Yeah, he's going to pull out the lotus.
Okay.
But he didn't want to waste the boat, so he decided to go real wide. And maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just plant another. He'll move the rhododendron over and plant another chrysanthemum and wheel his jade out of the way.
That is also something he could do. Yes, I would not have thought of that.
Which is tricky. People don't think of you wheeling your own pieces out of the way. So what is Gyatso going to do?
Okay.
Because he still has to worry about that lily.
I still can't pronounce your name, man. I'm going to write you down for Cannoli.
One move, and you switch that easily? So
okay, we've got
Cannoli.
Yeah, we got 3 Cannolis, 1 Gyatso.
Wait, who's the third person?
Ethan just joined. Cannoli side.
8.
Oh.
That guy. My Uncle Mushi. He's my Uncle Mushi in the server.
Oh.
Is that Pai Sho Ace?
Yeah.
Oh, he was pretty good. I like watching his games.
If I had to guess,
You know what? He actually, never mind. That wouldn't work. I had a thought.
Yep, I was about to say he's gonna do that. Yep.
I was about to say I was expecting a move very similar to that. Not quite that. I was expecting him to put out a rhododendron which was the move that I thought wouldn't play out, but I guess it works.
If it wasn't for that, knotweed on the left, Gyatso's getting messed up by his own knotweed.
Yeah,
Bummer.
Both players are actually getting a bit messed up by it. Well, I guess Cannoli has pretty successfully worked around it.
Yeah.
But it's going to take an extra tile.
It is going to take an extra tile, but that tile will also create a lotus, which will put threats on.
Okay, so we've got Spinks is also voting for Cannoli.
So I think Cannoli is going to take that chrysanthemum with the lily, if he wants to, but he doesn't really have to.
Yeah.
because within reach. That's why I didn't think Gyatso was going to do that. But maybe Gyatso's plan is to just plant another chrysanthemum once that lily is in the south. But then he could just move it to the north and it still would be in danger. Chan is in the voice chat. And so
Yakola.
now Cannoli plays defense with a rock.
Oh. Huh.
Maybe I was
Interesting.
missing something. Let me see here. Chrysanthemum.
Why didn't he take the chrysanthemum south? That's what I would have done. I would have taken the southern chrysanthemum. I guess he got a harmony bonus, but it's not one that exactly helped him much. It was a defensive one.
Yeah, because he still has the rose could come from the east up and to the left one to harmonize with the chrysanthemum, and then the rose would harmonize with the jade. There is Cannoli's jade in the middle of that, but the rock is kind of.
That was an interesting move that I'm not sure I would agree
Anyone want to switch their opinions now?
I think I'm still opting for Cannoli, but again, I am more questioning why Cannoli did this move, but I'm also kind of still full towards the Cannoli.
I hope Gyatso watches this and sees that one person on there.
Yeah, I
his
can
best
turn
friend Chan.
the music
You know,
down.
yeah, blow it up bigger.
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. That's currently the total. I have not voted yet because I have no
Right.
idea who's gonna win. Not even a clue.
I am gonna say that last turn by Cannoli makes me think more skeptically towards the. Not enough to switch my vote, but more skeptically.
So, Sirstos, to answer your question, it is me, of course. Chan / Prone to Wander, and Yagalo.
Yeah.
These are your commentators for the grand finals. So exciting.
So I think if Cannoli wins, I think it's going to be fairly obvious
it's not bad, then. I see
how
that
he
move.
does it.
Yeah.
I think if Gyatso wins, I think it's going to be a surprise. Like it's going to be something reached a little bit farther than we thought it would, and we didn't see it.
I mean, it's worth noting
is
this game
rare,
is only
you know,
16
that's-
turns in so far.
Yeah.
Ah, man, crazy. But I feel like that's normally Cannoli's thing, is where you don't really see it. Like when he beat you, right, Yagalo, he came way up.
Yeah, and that I
First
didn't
time.
expect.
Yeah, I think Dallin and I were. Oh no, so that must have been the semifinals because Dallin and I were in the voice chat, and we did not. Neither one of us saw that coming. But I think that may be if Gyatso wins. I think that's how he's going to end up doing it.
That is 5 for Cannoli.
They wouldn't be saying this back in July.
Right?
Things have changed. Things
July.
have changed.
Yeah.
Who is the fifth person?
That is Fish from the server. He is not able to
Oh.
text in the chat for some reason, so he said it in the server.
Yeah. Also in the server, Momo has brought up a pretty interesting idea of adding in like a gambling thing into the next tournament, like betting on who wins.
You could. It would take some people much better at math than I could. But you could actually have a tournament where you win points and then you bet your points that you won in the tournament on the other games and can win more points based on that.
Oh, that could be fun.
But that would be, I don't want to do that. Someone else could do it though. Or you could just bet on your team points. Obviously, most people would bet that they would win, but it would actually, if you know you're going up against someone like
Cannoli.
Cannoli, you could
Let's
bet
see,
against
so
yourself. And
Jinx
I mean, I'm
is
pretty
saying
sure
Red
Cannoli
5.
said.
-3, -7. 3, 1, 2.
Yeah,
5,
that's.
6,
I'm
7.
pretty sure that's the expected move
No,
right
yeah, of
now.
course.
And then Lotus. Yeah, it's worth noting that I'm pretty sure Canoli said that in the next tournament he's not planning to participate. He's planning to like run it. Saying something like
Yeah.
Earth Rumble 7. So Canoli, if the trend continues, if the pattern continues, Canoli and Gyatso make the next tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the finalists.
Well, we need to have a vagabond or something in between.
I mean,
Yeah.
The next Scud.
The next.
But the question: how long before a tournament champion can go back into regular play?
I would say, at 2 tournaments in after, like, I would say maybe not the next tournament, so we have some variety. Especially since we do have like a renewal of players, like every so often some new player jumps in who's very promising and very new and does a lot of progress. And I'm sure like 2 tournaments down the line, like you and Dallin can join in the next tournament and such.
All right. That means Scud's name has been called. Although I guess Scud won the tournament before. He won the coronavirus count. What's it called? It's on here.
When was this tournament?
This was right before I joined. It was the Counter Corona Confinement Contest.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Scud
vote for
won that one.
Gyatso.
Yeah, there we go. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Counter Corona
yes.
Confinement Contest. Yeah, I
Scud
joined
won
in.
so many points. I don't think he even had to play a final. It was just the semifinals, which Gyatso came in second place, beating Spinks. No wonder Spinks is for Canoli. Some bad blood there. Way back a year ago. I guess Dallin came in.
I wasn't active in the community until this
4th.
year, so it's like I was in until like August. I wasn't active in the community, or late July, even though I played Scud for a very long time beforehand.
Spinks says it's just because Canoli beat him more recently, but I really know.
Is it Spinks? I always thought it was Spinx.
No,
think it's
yeah,
Sphinx.
it's Sphinx. Sphinx Royce. I think I'm pronouncing that last part correctly. I have no idea.
I have to say, I feel like a bet for Gyatso is much more of a hopeful, like, someone will take down Canoli in a very, like... but I'm not sure if it's supported by what's going on the board.
No, you know what? Gyatso's not in a great spot right now.
Yeah. Like, I'll say it's in a better spot than I would be at this time, but...
So
Same.
Canoli is 3 moves away, right? He's got to move the
2 moves
rhododendron
away.
out.
Hypothetically, yeah.
2 moves away.
Huh?
Yeah, 2
Oh, I
moves.
see. Yeah, he would do. I was thinking he had to bring the jade down, but he could just bring it up. So 2 moves away. But Gyatso has a rock, and a bow and a wheel. So I don't think Gyatso's just going to let it go that quick. But,
Yeah.
But still, let's see.
They both still have their boats and their wheels. But wheels can be expected to not be used until the end. So
Yeah.
functionally they have Canoli has the boat and
We still waiting on
Gyatso has the
Gyatso?
rock and boat. Yep.
Yeah. Bet he's wishing he blocked the south gate now.
Right?
I can say that because I'm voting for him. So.
Are you gonna chastise him for not blocking that gate?
No, I bet he's doing it to himself right now.
would say I'm still confused by that move by Cannoli. By that last move by Cannoli.
Using the rock?
Yeah.
Well, it makes it so that his Rose is going to have a hard time getting to where Gyatso would want it to be.
True, but I feel like
He would have been one move away if he had just done the rhododendron. So I think
Right, but then Gyatso...
he was worried about getting tricked.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to play a little bit of defense since he doesn't need to rush to bring the rhododendron out.
I'm sure he also expects Gyatso to counter him somehow. And so he countered Gyatso early so that when Gyatso counters him, it doesn't really get him anywhere.
Oh, Momo has bet Gyatso wins.
Has she?
Yeah, in the tournament chat.
Gotcha.
Gyatso is catching up.
That is 3-4 Gyatso.
I have to say that recent move by Cannoli is probably the one that makes the most questions for, that makes the most argument for.
I mean, had Cannoli not done that, Gyatso likely would have moved the Jade to harmonize with the Lotus and then boated the Knotweed out of the way and been one move away.
That's true.
All he would have to do is move the... He wouldn't even need a wheel. He would just move the Rose down. And then if Cannoli had blocked, he would have had to use the rock anyway. So I guess he just did it a turn ahead.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably why. Because he knew it was coming.
But it doesn't...
But
he's still
really.
one move away. He can... Right now, Gyatso can move one move to harmonize with the Chrysanthemum, boat away the rock, and then... Oh no, he wouldn't be one move away, because...
He's
never mind.
2 moves.
Because... Yeah,
At least 2 moves. But if Cannoli had played his rhododendron...
There it is.
Oh, that's a good move.
That is a good move indeed, yeah.
If Cannoli had just played the rhododendron, then Gyatso would have had to use his accent tile to block the win, so he wouldn't have been able to get rid of the Knotweed anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a good move, and Cannoli responds very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Now,
what's his plan for that?
To harmonize with the Jade in the east.
But there's a Knotweed. There's a Knotweed.
Yeah, so he'll have to move. It'll take 2 turns at least. He could harmonize with his Chrysanthemum in the north. And so maybe that's what it is. So maybe now the Rose will come out and it'll be Chrysanthemum Rose, Jade Rose. Northwest, southwest, southeast, northeast. And then the rhododendron in the south doesn't matter anymore.
Maybe. Actually, yeah, that could do it. We still
But
have to pay attention.
it buys Gyatso 3 moves.
Quite a lot of time. Though, and Gyatso still has the rock to buy however many moves he needs.
Yeah. Gyatso's still not out of it here, out of the water. Oh, Gyatso has to take a break.
Yep.
Says I'll be
Low
back
battery.
soon.
Well, this seems like a good time for an intermission. Game's been going
Yeah, I
on
gotta
for
go
an hour and a
watch.
half now.
Yeah. An hour and a half and 17 moves in.
Oh, yep. That is how tournament games go.
Yeah, do.
So, until Gyatso comes back, I have a hypothetical for you guys.
Yeah.
Let's say you can turn back time, but however much you turn it back, you lose that much off of the end of your life. So like, let's say you dropped your favorite mug. You could just like rewind time a few seconds and then not drop the mug, and you'd only be losing a few seconds on your life.
Interesting.
Like, would you want that? Would you use it?
I would say that the core behind that is I would have that power because there's no harm to having it,
Right.
and just take care when to use it. Like, I'm always like a person to like have the tools in my arsenal.
Right. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Chan?
You're gonna have to. I missed your posing of the question. I heard Yago's response.
Okay.
But I heard something about like 3 seconds.
So the hypothetical is, let's say you have the ability to turn back time, like not just travel through time, but like you literally rewind time and you see everything like moving backwards through time. But however much you turn it back, you lose that much off of the end of your life.
Gotcha.
So like, would you want that, or would you use it?
I mean, I understand Yaglo probably has the right answer. I would say it would be good to have it, but then if you have it, you'll probably use it too much, or once you start using it, you'll end up using it for every decision, and then you'll overuse it. So I would say no.
Okay.
I like going opposite of Yaglo.
Okay. So what if you're just walking by and you see somebody walking on some train tracks, but you're not able to get to them in time?
Yeah, there's always a benefit to having it. The goal is self-control, as with anything else, but that's training to have self-control. Also, there's many ways of extending one's life nowadays. We don't exactly need drastic.
No, right. But a selfless person, a truly like completely selfless person, could then become like a superhero of sorts, going around and saving people's lives at the cost of their own life.
I have opinions on what it means to be selfless and whether it is a good thing to be selfless. Specifically because
Gyatso's back now. FYI.
Yeah, Gyatso's back. We can continue the discussion if you guys want until he makes his move, or not. It's up to you guys. It's a tough question.
Yeah. It's one that I have.
I'd rather be able to fly, honestly.
True.
Honestly, teleportation would be.
Like my life stays just fine, and
I mean, honestly, my like ideal superpower would probably be like not one for. It would be actually to, instead of roll back time, just look back in time. Just go to a place and look at history.
That would be really cool.
View everything that happens. It would be.
They're talking about Cannoli's Rock right now.
Yeah.
Game chat there.
Yeah.
I guess I was mistaken. That rock really is a frustrating one for Gyatso.
Or maybe that's just what he wants Cannoli to think. But I think it is.
Yeah, this isn't on the button. It's a lot harder to bluff in this game.
True. But that's half the enjoyment, for me at least. I enjoy the perfect information aspect.
Yeah.
But I see why some people enjoy others, such as out of our.
But I think the lily is just as problematic as the rock being in the way. It just forces more turns. Just takes more turns to get to where you need to be.
It also traps the lotus. So if for whatever reason Gyatso wanted to move it, he'd have to move his chrysanthemum first.
Oh god. I just cut out for like 5 seconds.
What were you saying?
Nothing. I didn't say anything, I just didn't hear anything also.
Oh.
Cut out for 5 seconds.
Well, nothing was said, so
Yeah.
you didn't miss anything. We're all waiting in anticipation. It's still Gas's move, right? I have such a hard time. When I was playing with Cannoli that one, or with Dal that one time, I'd be sitting there like, maybe it is my turn. Like, and I'd have to go back and see.
Watching their conversation in the chat is quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely different. Like, in the last tournament, I had never played any of the people I faced. The only time was when I played Turtle Game in the second time. I'd never played anyone, which I think helps, especially because 4-5 is not used that often, so a lot of people didn't see it that often. But it's got to be really hard when you're playing someone who you know really well, but also knows you really well. I feel like you have to second guess yourself more versus when you've never played them before. You just play your match.
Yeah. The rivalries set up before this tournament were already noticeable. It was like everyone knew each other. It was quite exciting.
I'd be interested to know if there was anyone in the tournament who had not previously played Cannoli.
I feel like it'd be surprising if there was anyone who has not previously played Cannoli.
Yeah, that's true. I know. He plays so many games, so obviously didn't help anybody. But
in my case, during the 4th round, it harmed me substantially because of that out of nowhere 4-5.
Gyatso's going for it. He planted a lily in the top.
Yeah.
Going after the chrysanthemum. And moved the rose. So move the rose
and
to make harmony.
actually, I don't think that's a helpful move. Because you can just go to -5-7, and then he's actually closer a bit to the rose that Cannoli is bringing out. That Cannoli bringing out from below. Like.
Yeah. But let's see, he would have to move it over 2 because his own lily would block him from moving it over just 1.
Yeah. So, but even moving over 2 isn't problematic.
Yeah.
Then again, so
you get caught. The other problem is Gyatso has nothing that he can harmonize with that lily up top, so he can't
I mean,
plant it and then play a.
He can harmonize with the lily, with the jade below.
Yeah, but that
And
I
jade
mean,
at 3, -4.
yeah, it wouldn't. If he's allowed to capture the chrysanthemum, then that's a really great move. But if the chrysanthemum moves over 1, he can't plant in that line,
No.
so he wouldn't be able to harmonize.
Yes, but no, he can plant in line with the jade.
That's what I figured
So-
he would do.
Cannoli does move it.
Yeah. So now. Actually, one thing he also can do right now. Actually. No, never mind. It doesn't work. I thought he could move the rose down below the jade in the west corner, but that wouldn't help as much.
I think
because
the
it's
lily
still-
is gonna come out to the left 3 and harmonize, and he's gonna plant a jasmine so that he can take one or the other. Plant a jasmine in the north, and then the jasmine will either take the rose or the lily will take the chrysanthemum, depending on what Cannoli response is.
Well, Cannoli would probably then take the chrysanthemum. I would take the lily, and then Yats would take the chrysanthemum.
Oh, so I would have to sandbox to see can Gyatso move his lily 4 spaces, or no? That's not a playable space. 'Cause
Yes,
if he
it
can
is.
get his
Yes,
lily
yes,
in
yes, it
line
is.
with, oh, it is a playable space.
Yeah.
So he could do that because then he's protected by Cannoli's lily from being captured.
But then he doesn't harmonize and can't put a.
Yeah, but he could just
Yeah,
take the
jasmine.
chrysanthemum the next turn.
True. But then. Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
Because then Cannoli would have to really run with the chrysanthemum to get out of the way.
That's true. That can actually do the trick.
But I wonder if, I mean, that's what I would do, I guess. But I don't really like playing clashing tiles and stuff, but you get to a point where you have to get some breathing room. Which I guess I did. I used that against Dahlan in the game that I lost when I made my short-lived comeback. I just planted opposite in the gate from him. But Cannoli is 2 moves away from winning, right? Hello.
Yeah,
Oh, there you are.
I'm here. I haven't. I'm not.
Oh, Cannoli wants to undo again. What was his, interesting he wants to undo. Wonder what's he...
It's also interesting that he still has that rose in the western gate.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem like he plans on using it.
Well, so if he was at the position he was currently in, if he brought the rose down 1 and to the right 2,
Wait a second.
he would be 1 move away from winning.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
If he brought his rose down and to the right 2, his next turn he would bring his jade up 3, his
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
in harmony up 3
Yeah.
and just wheel it over. So that
Yeah,
would be the winner.
I had just realized that he's got that ring.
But it also
But,
doesn't.
but he's undoing
still,
that, so I
Right.
don't know what that. Since he undid it, it'll be interesting what he goes for. And he moves his orchid instead.
I wonder what.
Which is weird.
Very
Oh,
weird.
because in order to interrupt the harmony.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't protect.
So he's
the
sacrificing
lily.
his chrysanthemum.
He's sacrificing the lily still. The chrysanthemum, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't think Gyatso was going for the harmony. I mean, maybe he was, but I don't think that was his original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his plan was
Because he
to
can't
take
really
out
use that
Chrysanthemum.
harmony.
So then the question is, I mean, what's just going to happen is Gyatso will just plant a Chrysanthemum in that north gate again.
Probably.
Yeah.
You mean Cannoli?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Cannoli. Alan is talking to you, Professor, in the game chat.
Wait, what?
Look in the game chat. It's Dallin for you.
Oh. Whoa, snap. Okay. Game chat. Oh.
On the Garden Gate.
Yeah, I see it.
So now I'm sure Gyatso is trying to figure out why Cannoli is giving up his road, Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's anything special about it. I think he's just gonna replant another one since he can't do a harmony to block the north. So are either one of you surprised the game is taking so long?
It's 18.
Nope.
It's 18 turns in. The fact that it's an hour and a half is almost 2 hours now is not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Not only because they're
Remember,
both very
as
skilled.
per usual, I can bring up the insanity that was mine and Professor's game.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, I remember that game.
To be fair, that one was more turns.
Yeah.
As well as.
But even that one, we finished it in like 3 hours, didn't we?
Didn't we? It took us 3 hours, then we took a 2-hour break. In that 2-hour break, I remember the discussion that brought alternate win conditions back.
Yeah.
And then we played like half an hour after the break.
Yeah. I remember I almost gave up there.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was just so like, we had been playing for so long.
Remember when 3-hour games were considered long and
Right.
absurd? Oh, how the times have changed.
I think when the stakes are higher, because in the last tournament, I think it was a 6-hour game and then a 3.5-hour game with Dallin, but all of my other games were fairly short.
Yeah.
But those are also, well, my first game was like an hour. That's my first match, which was against Mithrandir. It was like an hour and a half, but it was the same amount of moves as my 6-hour game with Cannoli, or with Dallin. I guess it was a couple moves shy of that, but still. I think it's the finals and people just wanting to really think. I mean, like your guys' game, you had a lot of moves. It took a long time, but you had a lot of moves.
Yeah.
Where in Dolan's and my game, and then in this game, you're having like 5-6 moves an hour.
Yeah.
I guess 9 moves an hour. Is a little different.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. But to be fair, not all different players have different strategies for like main finale games. Like in the semifinal, me and Cannoli's was actually quite quick. I believe it was like an hour and a half or so. While on the contrary, there are players like Yatso, Momo, like Dahlin, who intentionally take as long as possible to think about something before they make a specific move, and then there's faster games, which are, and then there's faster players who tend to go more quickly.
Yeah, I'm a faster player.
Yeah.
And I think like Cannoli, he knows what he wants, so his moves are pretty rapid.
Yeah.
Which he's had to undo 2 of them, but they're pretty rapid. Where Gyatso wants, I'm sure he knows what he wants, but it's a little harder. He has to think about it more.
So that's actually a good question in the stream chat. Eitan is asking, when is the prize going to be announced?
Oh, the mystery prize?
Yeah.
I guess I'll leave that up to Dahlin, but it'll be announced today.
Well, we've got a move from Gyatso.
Oh, we do. Yep.
Oh.
Interesting move.
Take the.
Ooh.
He doesn't need to. Yeah. He doesn't need to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he could harmonize going the opposite direction now.
How
with
would
his
that?
Lily. He could bring
But then
bring
what?
that north lily to the east instead to harmonize.
Right, but then after that,
Yeah.
What
there's
would
not
he do
much,
now?
What's his next? So his rose will now harmonize with it. His rose that's at 0-1
yeah.
or 1-0, whatever it is. And Cannoli brings out his rose. to block the
Interesting.
chrysanthemum.
Oop. Looks like he might be going for what you guys were saying.
Yeah. But it doesn't work as well with this.
Now that he moved his orchid in the way.
Yeah.
So now it's at least 2 moves. Well, yeah, at least 2 moves.
At least. Probably gonna be a bit more, because Gyatso's gonna see it.
Yeah.
Plus,
There's no doubt about
can
that.
still take the Xantho and whatever he pleases.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's if at this point Cannoli will probably move that chrysanthemum to the left 1, and then Gyatso won't be able to take it in 1 move at least.
I mean, Gyatso can
And
take it
then-
this move.
Yeah, that's true. Which he probably.
So, Prone to Wander, would you be willing to give just a small hint as to what the prize is? Just a teensy weeny one.
So I will tell you. So let's see. What are the prizes? So you have, the person. Which this might be quite upsetting to people if either Cannoli or Monkiasso wins, they get the right to change their name to Han.
Han.
But I think that'll probably only be in like tournaments. Like I'm assuming Dahlin and I will change our names back.
Who's Han?
Han is whoever wins this tournament. Han is the Northern Water Tribe kid that's going to marry Princess Yue.
Oh, yeah.
The party's at his house, man.
Oh, I did not know that.
Didn't he get thrown off a boat and die?
Well, thrown off the boat, sure. Well, even then, maybe, because they were actually on the I guess you could call it the bridge. Zhao wasn't on the deck of the ship. So throwing the guy
pretty
off, he threw him
sure
off
he was.
forward. No, he wasn't on the deck of the ship.
So Gyatso did make that harmony to the right, and now
see.
he's threatening the Rose, which I think is a better
Interesting.
threat because now he'll take the Rose with the Jasmine and get a harmony bonus to block the North Gate again.
Looks like some of us were right to vote for Gyatso.
Professor, it sure did take you a long time to make the right decision, though.
Right? Well,
I'm
because
still
it's
thinking-
tough.
I'm still thinking. Cannoli.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just realized
Not.
Cannoli can't do anything about his rose getting taken. He cannot do a single thing.
Yeah, that's gonna happen this turn.
Yeah, because he can't move it. Because it's trapped between a chrysanthemum and a lily.
Oh. Huh.
Very clever, Gyatso. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is I think the Jasmine is going to take the Rose, and then another lily is going to be planted. And that lily will take the chrysanthemum on the top, harmonize with the Jasmine, and plant another flower in the north.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Gyatso only needs a lily in the south to connect his two.
Yeah, and now that Cannoli just gave him the southern gate,
That's true. Huh.
I think Cannoli's gonna undo that.
Yeah, I think.
Canoli's
Can't believe I'm
response was
saying this.
pretty fast. See, Canoli's response was so fast. He didn't even take a
Fish.
second.
Welcome to the stream, Fish. I'm glad your chat works now.
No.
Alright, Cannoli's gotta undo that. Otherwise, he's just giving Gyatso exactly what he needs.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, Cannoli
Let's-
can still obviously counter him. Cannoli's very good at countering. But
Losing that rose on the top is going to be quite
Yeah.
damaging.
Because he doesn't have any roads left
Exactly.
to plant.
that's probably why Gyatso opted to not take the chrysanthemum, since he's got more chrysanthemums.
Because he has chrysanthemums. Doesn't have
Wow,
roses.
very clever
true.
play
So-
by Gyatso.
Yeah, so Gyatso doesn't even have to take the North Gate again because Cannoli can't put a rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would have to put multiple tiles.
Mhm.
I don't even know if he can do it now. My brain. What would he need? Yeah, that was a big move.
Mhm.
That
Cannoli should have
that
kept.
was a big
Should
move.
have just moved his chrysanthemum to the left and let him
Yeah.
harmonize that direction. It would have been a little safer for the rose.
Which was more important right now?
But you see, okay, I guess so. Gyatso capturing the rose would trap his Jasmine, but I suppose it doesn't really matter since he would just move the Jasmine to the left. So, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I wonder what Gyatso's waiting for.
He's trying to figure out why Cannoli did that, just like all the rest of us.
Cannoli has some master plan that
I know.
5 moves down the road.
He normally does. He usually does, but
I think he's just trying to draw attention away from the ring he's trying to make.
Maybe.
I think that's what's going on.
if his southwestern rose was that would have helped anyway. If it was a jasmine, then he would. Well, no, he wouldn't have set up there anyway.
Alrighty, well, I've gotten till 1 o'clock to continue streaming. Like I said in the game chat, I can't keep streaming for 11, 12 hours on end.
What time is it for you now?
Well, it's noon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have an hour for this game to finish.
I mean, I think we're getting fairly close. I mean, there's still a lot could happen, but
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about, talking to Abba to see if he can pick up the stream once I skedaddle. I'm gonna message him.
So I think Gyatso is probably thinking about why Cannoli played that rhododendron. He's also probably thinking, once he brings out his Jasmine, what is he going to use that harmony bonus for? The south or to block
I
the
would
north?
say takes this. I would say takes the south. And then
Yeah, 'cause if he takes the south,
potentially-
Cannoli still needs that rhododendron
lot
or
in
the
the north.
lotus in the south.
Yeah. For example,
So-
if he takes, I'm gonna sandbox this quickly. If he takes the south with like a lily or something, he can then do random moves for Cannoli because it's not an ideal. So then harmonize there. Other lilies there. There's still the knotweed in the way. But outside of that,
And really, he does not have to take the rose this turn. He could
Yeah.
just straight plant, and that may be his thing too.
I know why he moved the. What? Look, the rhododendron and the jade, they're capturable. You might not need to take the rose right now. He can capture the rhododendron. That might be what he's thinking. Also,
He can't capture.
do the same.
Wait, he can't capture the jade that's
Oh, right.
over.
Yeah, he can't capture the jade. Right, he can't capture the jade, but Gyatso can capture
the
it,
rhododendron.
which
Right.
again makes the rhododendron move even weirder.
Yeah.
Like
I
I,
think
said,
that-
I think he's just trying to take the. I think he's just trying to distract him from the ring he's making currently by doing a move
Maybe.
that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It's very,
Yeah, very
Like,
strange.
what's the word?
I would, in this case, if I was Gyatso, take the
Uncharacteristic.
rhododendron.
Yeah, I think that's what he should do, I think.
Yeah, because then the rose is still capturable whenever you want.
Yeah, there's no reason to rush up there. He needs to get, because if he doesn't plant in the south, then Cannoli will just capture that jade.
Yeah.
There actually is one
Well,
way
no, he
Cannoli can
can't
save
capture
the
that jade.
rose. There actually is one way Cannoli can save the rose. Move it onto the center line in line with the rose on.
That is
yeah.
true.
But that'll only save it for one turn, because then Gyatso will just move his rose.
Yeah.
True,
Because
but
he
it is
can't
a
move it out of that line.
save.
Yeah, it'll save it for a turn.
But again, it doesn't save it if Gyatso doesn't take it now, or if again
Oh, he
Gyatso
took
takes
it.
the rhododendron.
he took
took it?
the and he planted the lily in the north.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought planting a lily in the south.
Yeah, same here.
Well, he's just totally.
Oh,
he can
actually,
totally
no, yeah, this
destroy
works.
Take the chrysanthemum now, totally destroy that ring,
Yeah.
and he just has the orchid preventing a harmony from the lily to the jade in the south.
Those are both jades.
I know he needs one more jade,
Oh, yeah.
or he needs one more lily in between them.
Yeah.
Or one or the other, but well, yeah, he'll still need. He's going for a six tile ring.
6 to 7 or something.
Although he doesn't need to, because he could move his Jasmine to the left 2, or to the left 3 because of the knotweed,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
it would put. He could have multiple options for a ring. So Cannoli will probably take the jade
Yeah.
with the rhododendron, but it doesn't really hurt Cannoli because Cannoli.
Well, he can't
really
take the
use-
jade with the rhododendron.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you're right. You can't.
Oh wait, that wouldn't work. Never mind. I thought I had a really cool idea, but I was wrong.
And now-
Interesting.
So now, Gyatso takes the. Gyatso just takes the rhododendron now. No harmony
Interesting.
bonus,
yeah.
but still, like, just takes the
But
rhododendron
what's
because.
the- Why did he plant a lily?
That's
I
a
think
good
it's
question.
to harmonize with the jade that he
That's
has.
what I
Yeah, but
think
what's the long
too.
term for that lily?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Oh, I guess putting a Jasmine down. Get back into a vertical ring. Because if he puts a Jasmine down in the south, then you can do Rhododendron, Jasmine, Lily up to. And then but he doesn't have a rose in the north.
Right. Not anymore.
Yeah.
However, Cannoli did retake the southern gate control, so
That's true.
Yasuo probably should have put that lily in the south, not the north.
He should have. He actually should have gone with the lotus down there. He should have just straight up put up the lotus down there, so he could have. So he could utilize his lotus because then he could utilize his orchid again.
Because his orchid is not endangered in the white gate.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's safe, but.
And it would have threatened a few pieces around. So.
Well, yeah, that rhododendron and the rose, but not pieces that are really in play.
Yeah.
True, but
Although,
nonetheless,
it
would be a threat.
They're still like 2 moves away from, or 2 or 3 from rings there. They're just not the easier ring at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's only an easier ring if you can get a lily down there.
Yeah, which he can't right now. He doesn't even have, both of his lilies are in the north, so it would take a while. But he could get that rose down in 2 moves.
This is accurate.
So, currently, not everyone watching has voted on who they think is gonna win. So all y'all in the chat, it looks like Gyatso's kind of turned this around. Gyatso seems to be mostly in the advantage right now, though Cannoli definitely hasn't relinquished that yet. So, yeah.
I would agree. When I picked Gyatso, it was not because he was necessarily in the, the advantage. But I would say that he has scrambled Cannoli's offense there, and Cannoli's going to have to play defense for a little bit.
Yeah, I do think that right now, Gyatso definitely does have the advantage. Cannoli.
And Gyatso still has his rock, which Cannoli does not. So Cannoli does not have any defensive tile left. And this is probably Gyatso's best ring so far. Although I guess he was 2 moves away earlier.
2 moves away, but with a rock in place.
Well, yeah. But there's still a lot of tiles between that lily in the north and his jade in the southwest.
I left.
so quiet right now.
So, this is exciting. Um,
I heard.
So what's Cannoli's plan if he can't retake that north gate?
that's a good question.
He
I
has
have no
nothing
idea.
that will harmonize with. I mean, there's a lot of tiles between the jade and the chrysanthemum.
If Gyatso doesn't relinquish control of the northern gate, Cannoli might have to switch back to a horizontal ring, which would
Which
be
isn't
very
out of the
difficult.
question. I mean, he's pretty well. He's got. Yeah, that's the rose in the southwest by the knotweed. If that was
Yeah.
a jasmine, being well, even still, because it's jasmine to jade on that side. So he still needs another jade, which he
Yeah.
does not have. He would have to bring the jade all the way from the south. Gyatso is really trying to figure out.
Yeah, Gyatso's taking quite some time on his move.
What helps him the most?
I think this 2 hours in, this is a fairly good time for just a short break, for them to renew their fighting spirit, just their mind in general. I'm gonna go ahead and ask them how they feel about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I don't know if Gyatso's planning his winning move right now or like second assault here. But he sure is taking his time. Yagalo, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
And I would
Sweet.
say that the core problem that Yatso has right now is that he can't pull out his lily because it's under threat of the chrysanthemum at anywhere he puts.
Right.
Like, Yatso's main problem here is
if he takes his lily down one and to the left one and plants another lily in that top gate,
He could do that,
but
yeah.
he needs that lily in the south, or he needs to change tiles in the south.
Mhm.
exactly. So he can't just
Oh, I guess
Pull
no,
out
he
the
doesn't need
lily without-
Sorry, he doesn't need the lily in the south. He has a rose that can come down, or he could plant a rose in the top. So I would probably do the lily down one.
Well,
from
he
the
can't
north gate.
pull a rose in the top because there's jasmine in the way.
Well, he has the rose that's at 1-0 or 1-1, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
He could bring that
0-1.
down, or if that gate became open,
Or
he could plant it. Yeah, but he does have in 2 moves. It would be just as quick to bring the rose down as it would be to plant a lily and bring it up. The only
Yeah.
problem with that is his jade can't enter the red territory, so it doesn't help him moving that up. The rose
Yeah.
has to come down. But with the lily, it would be the same thing, and he does.
Oh, he moved the lily out.
But what did he do? He planted a rhododendron in the east gate?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
what?
to take
Going
out
back
to
to
take
the-
out Cannoli's only remaining ring.
He's going for a horizontal ring.
And he's also breaking everything. He's just
Yeah.
breaking every
I think he's
possible
just
ring.
taking out Cannoli's ring. He does have a ring that direction, but I think he's just taking out Cannoli's ring. Because now Cannoli has to decide whether he wants his chrysanthemum or that jade.
Oh,
And also, regardless of anything, right now he gets this by taking out pretty much every possible ring. He's making sure Cannoli can't like trick him at any point.
Right.
Cannoli is well known for doing.
Yeah, and he does have he has a 4-5-4-5 set up
Yeah.
with the lotus in there too. From east to west.
Yeah.
And has the
But there's there's the lily from.
the lily in the top would have to be wheeled, which can't really wheel it because of the orchid and the rhododendron without moving something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets in the way, but it is still clear progress. I don't see why Cannoli hasn't pulled out his lotus at any point here. Like, he's somewhat at this point he can't because the lily's in the way,
Right.
but like, if he did so a few turns earlier, he could have started threatening things. And pushed things back.
Yeah. But he can bring out which it doesn't really, I was gonna say, he could bring out the lily in the south, harmonize with the jade, and plant the lotus in the north. But that doesn't really help him. I think he will probably take the lily.
Yeah. Which
But I
will
don't
lose
know.
him
I
the
mean, his
jade.
only real ring is
The ring is the jade, so he has to pull out the jade.
he has to save it. Although he does have a jade
Oh,
2 moves away
okay.
from there.
That's true.
He could bring that bottom jade. Well, no, because the knotweed is on that rose to the west.
Yeah.
But a lotus right now would sure help if it was already out
Yeah.
for his orchid. I don't know what the best move is. I guess it's probably take the
Oh, you know what?
lily with the
I think
chrysanthemum.
Yatso. He could choose to move his rose that's near the center. Oh, that knotweed. Never mind. Just forget I was gonna say anything. That knotweed kind of ruins it.
Yeah. Cannoli's first knotweed has
Mhm.
been saving grace of this game so far. I think like that knotweed can be considered one of the best accent tile placements I've seen like long time.
So I think for the first time in this game, we're waiting on Cannoli, which I don't blame him. But,
Yeah.
I think that's a sign that the tides have turned a little bit, for sure.
Maybe.
Because Cannoli cannot take the jade with his rhododendron. So the only thing he can take is the lily with chrysanthemum, or save his jade in the east.
He
Yeah.
moved the
I would
jade
say
up.
he needs to save
Oh,
his jade from the
protecting
other
his
jade
jade
north.
there. Yeah.
Which is interesting, because he could have moved the jade that is threatened
And now he. Ooh.
over.
Very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Very clever
That-
move.
Wait, but the next move for Yatsu is obvious. He takes the chrysanthemum from the top.
Or the rhododendron in the south.
No, he
Because
can't take the
now-
rhododendron from south because. Oh wait, no. Take the rhododendron from the south. Yeah, either one works.
Well, he needs to now, because now the rhododendron could take his jade.
Right.
True. True.
What I would do personally
But the
is
chrysanthemum could take his lily too.
move the
so-
jade from 3 -3 just down 1, because that protects his jade and also sets him up to move his rose down in 2 moves.
Yeah.
But then he still will probably lose his Lily.
So someone's losing some
Yeah.
tile.
Yep, there's going to be at least one capture.
Green.
It's just unclear
So then-
who's gonna get it.
Yeah, so Gyatso really
actually,
just
no,
has to
Cannoli's
decide
gonna-
which one he wants more.
Salt.
Actually, Cannoli's gonna take something at some point.
Hell.
But the question is, so Gyatso needs to take something because otherwise Cannoli can take something no matter what he does. Like,
Which I think Gyatso losing the piece is going to hurt more than Cannoli losing the piece. At this point.
so
Because
Cannoli, Gyatso, I think at this point, regardless, needs to just take a piece to just keep knocking out Cannoli's rings and such.
yeah, I think Gyatso should take the rhododendron because the lily, as soon as the chrysanthemum takes the lily, he can just plant his other lily. Well,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And he
think
can't
so.
do
I
the same thing
think-
with the Jade.
No, he can't do the same thing with the jade. So I think the jade is the one that he wants to keep alive here.
Yeah.
But Gyatso, based on the chat, sounds like he really wanted to take that jade
Yeah.
in the east, which is interesting.
I mean, he wanted that east and western gate.
And maybe he just wanted that ring. He wanted to boost up that ring, and now he can't get the chrysanthemum out. I mean, he could always move his rose, but to below the rock and block.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's his.
Hey, no. I brought that.
But then if Gyatso does take that rhododendron, then his rose is like 3 moves away. Unless he moves But it
Yeah,
also
but,
puts his lily and his jade on 2 different lines, which makes it easier, since he has the orchid blocking one, it'd be easier to match them up with the wheel eventually.
Yeah.
Although I doubt Cannoli would leave the chrysanthemum there. So Cannoli would take the lily with the chrysanthemum, Gyatso would play a lily, and then Cannoli could just move that chrysanthemum again. And actually, he could move the chrysanthemum to the left, and then Cannoli would not be able to make the...
He could move the chrysanthemum to the same exact place, actually. He could take the lily, move it back down.
Well, but if he moves it to the left instead, then he prevents the lily from harmonizing with the jasmine on the west side.
Yeah.
As long as it's out of striking distance.
But it allows for him to... Actually, no. That stops him from putting it out, yeah.
That's assuming that the rhododendron gets taken. Without the rhododendron get taken, he may prefer the harmony ring. Although he could move the chrysanthemum over 2 and then slide the rhododendron over 3 and make up the same harmony.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Still think it's anyone's game, but I think it's much closer now than it was before.
I would agree.
You know what he could do? Ollie, that is? He could not capture something, but instead move his rose to the side, 3 to the side, or 2 to the side, and then bring out a jade. Yeah, he doesn't have a jade. Never mind, ignore me.
I know. Went through his jades quick.
I guess we'll just we'll see which tile Gyatso chooses to save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're any closer to the end than we were 15 moves ago, though.
That's true, actually. I would
think
say
it's
that
just
recent events have like
it's switched players.
broken the.
Yeah.
But because I mean, Gyatso still has a long way. Cannoli's not going to let him just walk that rows down.
Yep.
Although Cannoli
No.
is out of defensive tiles,
That's true.
and I mean, I don't like saying this, but Cannoli does only have 7 flower tiles left. So what is the? You're an expert on
They
the
both only
alternate
have
win
7
condition.
flower
What
tiles left.
happens?
Well-
I mean, yeah, 7 seems a bit large for a usage change to alternate win conditions, but it's something that needs to be considered now.
Now the only thing that
Because-
hurts Cannoli is he doesn't really have a lot of harmonizing.
Yeah.
He's got as many
Where-
as Gyatso has.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of places where he can plant a tile, bring it out, and make a harmony. Or
Well,
harmony bonuses. Where
I'd say
Gyatso
in the
has-
south he has the
Yeah.
potential for 2.
I guess
Wait.
he could bring out the lily
Yeah.
and plant a jasmine, bring out the jasmine and plant a rhododendron, bring out the rhododendron and plant a, yeah. But that,
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't help him. I don't think that's a good. I can't stand the alternate win condition, but I don't think it would help him really.
It's
They're quite enjoyable if, you know.
It's like at least once a week I message Scott and I'd be like, so about this alternate win condition, let's just scrap it. And he's like,
Well, then what would-
one day.
Come on.
see
Oh, come
The,
on. What is so wrong about them? Would you rather have me and Professor played for 100 turns instead of 50?
so the thing is, in Skud Pai Sho, there are no alternate win conditions. When both players play their last tiles, then they just continue playing. So that you could do it like that for Skud Pai Sho, but it would drastically change the end of the game. Like the
Yeah.
I personally think that there's a clear benefit to alternate win conditions. Like, I think they help the dynamic of an end game.
So Chan, I'm curious, what in particular do you dislike about the alternate win conditions?
Okay. So what I don't like is you could be playing this game and trying to get a ring, and then at some point your entire strategy has to change. And if
I think
you,
that's
you
the
could
best
be,
part.
You could be winning, and I don't like I don't want to give up on my ring. If I have a ring, I don't want to give up on it and just start. Now, the new rules, we're having to have them across midlines, does
Yeah.
help that a little bit. But I
mean,
still
yeah,
like,
that's the
I don't like
point.
that aspect. And so I've always told myself, well, Scud doesn't want there to be a draw, so I'm fine with that. But then in this tournament, we had an alternate win condition lead to a draw in Scud, which I didn't even know was possible. Scud got a mouthful about that one too, or a message full about that one too. Like, what's even the point anymore?
It's not that there's no draw. You want the game to end.
I know, but
Like-
if you still can have a draw, and that's where we were talking about other options. I think the best one, I don't know if I'm allowed to, this may be privy information. I think the best one is after the alternate win condition, if it's a tie, then the host automatically wins because they gave up the first move, so they get the benefit
Interesting.
of the win at the end. And I think that's probably the best one. Instead of having a draw, host would win.
I feel like that would advantage the host to push towards alternate win conditions.
So
You know,
Cannoli just
I thought
moved
he might do
to-
that.
Oh no, Gyatso.
I thought Gyatso
Yeah.
might do that in order to capture that jade.
Yeah, I told he really wants it, but I'm not sure why, but he really wants it. And I think so. Maybe he has given up on trying to move his rows down 3
Yeah.
moves or 2 moves, and is just going to go east and west.
But there's also sacrificing like a lot of pieces.
Yeah, because now he could lose his lily or his jade.
In fact, you can probably lose both.
But I think Gyatso said he's going to get some fresh air,
Yeah.
take a break.
And I've got like 25 minutes or so before I'll need to end the stream.
You know.
But yeah, back to the alternate win. I just don't like the. I don't know. I get it's something.
I
about
like that
the
it's somehow.
changing
It's
of the
something. What I see it is as a reward to the person who's for a defensive game. To some extent, if you've successfully played very defensively for very long, you get a level of like reward for the fact that you've succeeded at holding off a victory for so long.
So what I can see that is not very nice about the alternate win conditions is that even if you're playing very well, but you just so happen to have less harmonies crossing mid lines, then you lose. Even though you might be skilled enough to have won, you just lost because the alternative win conditions do not reflect the skill required in the game at all.
I disagree. I think that because it's mid lines, it does very much benefit to some extent to be a good player. Like if you have a more stable ring.
Well, right, but you don't really need to be that good of a player because you could pull out Pandora's box, and
except Pandora's box no longer works.
It does. You just all you need to do is have a line of tiles across a single mid line. So
except that is it. Wait, no, that doesn't work. What do you mean?
That
What do you mean a line of tiles?
so
You only have to use 2 quadrants. You don't have to try to use all 4.
right. So you
can
don't
all your harmonies across
all
the
you
board.
need to do.
Except that doesn't work. Over someone who keeps. There's a reason that Pandora's box that change from midlines hasn't reopened. That Pandora's box exists and hasn't been
Right,
reopened.
but it could
Because
be
it's not a
adapted.
strategy.
It could definitely be adapted to the new alternative win conditions where where the player focuses on getting harmonies that cross midlines instead of focusing on getting a ring. And that doesn't require as much skill as getting a ring. At least I don't think it does.
I'm not sure that's accurate, and I'm not sure that it's adaptable into this. I think that, like, Pandora's box has too many, like, it's harder to get that many tiles into harmony, and so I don't think it's quite possible to just Pandora's box your way through.
Yeah, I don't think it's not to the extent of Pandora's box, but I think it's maybe 75% as effective. And so unless you have someone who's really good at making a ring and defense and whatnot, you could still overpower a player. You just can't do it.
Except have we seen anyone, I might be mistaken, but I don't even think it's 75%. I don't think that there's a valid strategy right now to just overwhelm with ultimate win.
I mean, at this specific stage in Cannoli's and Macchiato's game, one of them could very easily start spamming out tiles in order to get a lot of harmonies crossing the midline, and having a lot of tiles on the board makes it easy to block the other player's ring. So even at this stage of the game, they could completely abandon the skill required in making a ring and just do harmonies across the midline. So while it's not a valid strategy out of the gate, it is still a valid strategy in the mid to late game, which still...
But I think it is...
Go ahead.
I think some good that the end game has this sort of dramatic change in both pace and strategy. To some extent, your goal becomes... I think that there is a benefit to this, like, switch in goal.
I won't exit.
I think that it's quite interesting when the game suddenly shifts at the end of the game.
Well, to each their own. Like, for me personally, I'd rather have the game be consistent in feel and just overall skill. I'd rather have that consistent throughout the game. But to each their own.
The thing
To be fair, this might be biased because I've been saved by alternate win conditions way too many times.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about it is at some point you end up having, which I mean it's the rule, so it's fine, but you end up having 2 people possibly playing 2 different games. Someone is trying to just make harmonies across the line, someone is trying to make a ring, and I don't know, I don't like it as much. It's not, I would rather lose a game than play for a win condition. But that, again, that's just my personal opinion on it. I just have never liked like that. I've never lost to it, although I did almost lose the grand final because I was one move away. But I've never lost to it, so I don't have any bad feeling about it personally or whatever. I don't like the concept of it. I like the ring, and I feel I would rather have draws from people who like your benefit of not letting your opponent win is a draw versus just some arbitrary thing.
Maybe.
Honestly, games that go so long as to use every single basic tile, I forget what they're called. I don't know if it's basic tiles or basic flowers.
Basic flower tiles.
Okay, so a game that goes long enough and is complex enough to use every single one of those, I think should not be undermined by an alternative win condition, and
Maybe.
should still... Sure, it would be harder with so many tiles on the board. It would be harder to complete the ring, but I think it would honor the players' efforts more for them to continue their effort in making the ring, instead of just being like, oh, you put in all this work for a ring? Well, that's too bad, because now you need to worry about midline harmonies.
Maybe. I do feel like midline harmonies are helped by rings. Like,
Oh, they definitely are, yeah.
I feel like maybe. I feel like another possible benefit is I feel like another rule that might need to be added is something that exists in chess. Basically, if you repeat the same turn 3 times in a row, the game ends in a draw.
Yeah.
Because that
Explain, like, give an example based on the board right now of that.
literally just two people move back and forth. Like someone makes a harmony, they block it. Someone moves away, they block it. Someone moves back, they block it. Someone moves
So, yeah, I would say doing it like that, like how chess has, where it's a draw when
Yeah, so just
like
move
if there's
his
2
jade
kings left on the
down.
board, that's a draw.
Yeah.
Neither player can win. So something like
It's a
that.
draw. Yeah. So maybe it would fit for, like, if you use all the basic flower tiles, it's a draw. I think then in that case, it shouldn't be that when one person uses all their basic flower tiles, it should be when the second person uses all their basic flower tiles.
Ooh, interesting. So we've got some
So
action here.
Gyatso and Cannoli have both gone.
Yeah, Gyatso moved his jade
real quick.
down to protect his
Yep.
jade.
And Cannoli took the lily.
Interesting. Now I wonder if Gyatso's going to plant his other lily there. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen.
You also can just take the rhododendron. I don't know why he's not quite doing it. Like, there's a lot of benefit to it. It
Right.
lessens a lot of the...
He might do that.
Well, he doesn't need to now because he doesn't. It's not a threat to him, except for that it'll give Cannoli the harmony. But Gyatso needs a lily in the north now.
Yeah.
I do
So
wonder.
I think you're gonna see a harmony. Probably are going to see the. Well, no, that would
I do
still
wonder
be
why he
within
moved the
5.
jade down instead of just capturing the rhododendron.
Because he can't move the other jade up any into the red territory, and he needs
No, right,
it.
but he could have captured the
I
rhododendron
mean, he could have captured the rhododendron.
instead of moving the jade that's on the right side down one.
Yeah. I don't think he's that concerned about it. It's been like
Yeah.
5-10 moves. He hasn't taken it yet.
Yeah.
I think he's just ignoring it for now. But man, Gyatso or Cannoli did not. I mean, he didn't really have much choice. He had to take it, I think. The lily.
How old are you?
But even like even with the let's see, that's funny. Even with the alternate win condition, like the problem is like any rule you add will allow for it, and some people really like it, will allow for some new strategy. Like if you just say, all right, instead of an alternate win, if neither player can make a harmony, then the host
Yeah.
just automatically wins. Well, then the host will just always play defense.
Oh, that's
And,
Yeah,
and
so I
you
think
wouldn't
that it's
see-
so I think something like a draw where like if something like if you go with if both players put out all their basic flower tiles, it goes to a draw.
yeah.
the hus-
But and I don't mean like I said, I don't like the alternate win, but it's kind of nice, I guess, to have another win. But
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I don't necessarily think we should get rid of it. I just think I don't really like the harmonies across the midlines, I guess. But like I said, anything you go to do is going to bring up new strategy, and it's going to take away from the idea of trying to make rings. And I guess that's what I don't like is this back and forth of trying to make your harmony ring versus just getting your flower tiles out.
And if I remember correctly, Ancient Pai Sho, which is the one this was based off of, was just about getting more harmonies, right?
That's a good question. I've read about it before. I
I-
think it did have more to do with harmonies than a specific harmony ring.
Yeah. And so that's what I think really sets Skud Pai Sho apart from its predecessor, Ancient Pai Sho, is that it's a lot more complicated when you have to make a
So
ring
here
instead of
comes
just
the
getting more.
rhododendron with another rhododendron planted to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
And now Gyatso brought his rhododendron from the east down, planted another one, which
Yep.
can now is out of range from that knotweed, so we can actually harmonize.
He's 2 moves away. Gyatso's 2 moves away now.
He is, yeah. Wait, no. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could be too. If he brought the chrysanthemum down one and to the right, and Cannoli made some random move, and then he could move no, that
Because the wheel
lily
doesn't
cannot be wheeled out of the way.
It can't, no.
Yeah.
And the rhododendron can't come down. The northwest rhododendron can't come down because of the knotweed. So he would have to go north with both the rhododendron and
Yeah.
his chrysanthemum. And Cannoli plants his
There's
lotus.
the lotus. So why in the north?
Interesting choice.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
Hmm.
Professor, you're in contact with Porf?
Yeah.
Where has he been? Where's he been?
Yeah, where has he been?
He, well, last I saw him, he was just taking a break from Pai Sho. And I messaged him, seeing if he'd be down to pick it up. And
He hasn't been
I don't
on
know,
the
he
server
just-
for quite a long time.
yeah, he just said, I haven't touched Pai Sho in a really long time. He can't stream right now, unfortunately. So it looks like there won't be it. I mean, unless one of you guys wants to download Streamlabs OBS and stream it yourself, there won't be anyone to pick up the stream.
We can jump into the voice chat and just do the same thing we did last for the
that works.
semifinals. Jump into the voice chat and have the conversation.
Man, I wonder what Cannoli's plan for that White Lotus is.
Yeah, why is it in the north?
Yeah. He might be planning a Jasmine in the south?
But
Also,
that loses him the south.
oh, so
He
I
also
don't,
can easily just take the south gate.
right, I don't think he really cares about where the White Lotus is. I think he just wants it out. That way he can start using that orchid.
Yeah.
Which, now that you mentioned that, now a lily in the south by Gyatso is one move away from harmonizing his 2 jades.
Yeah.
It won't take
Yeah.
2. But Well, that doesn't really help him. Never mind, because he doesn't have anything connecting his. He still lost the lily in the north.
Yeah.
So that's what the White Lotus is preventing him from planting the lily in the north.
Fair, but it
But
doesn't
why he didn't
stop
plant
him
it
from losing the south.
I know he could have planted another chrysanthemum and put pressure on the lily in the northeast.
Yeah. I've been drinking tea, and I've run out of tea.
Oh, so sad.
Yes.
What kind of tea?
Earl Grey. I'm not very.
Grey. Nice.
I'm not very original in my tea selection.
Well, Earl Grey is a classic.
I drink it every morning. Every single
My
morning.
family just in my family we just constantly have tea somewhere, so I just drink it quite constantly.
Yeah, I remember a while back. I was perusing the cabinets in my kitchen. And I found a cabinet just full of loose leaf tea, and I had no idea where it had come from. That was fun. All right, I've got 10 minutes left.
This game is not going to end in 10 minutes.
Definitely not.
We may not see another move in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's also accurate.
I've messaged Dallin about maybe him picking up the stream. I don't know if he's got the software or equipment. But currently there is no one to pick up the stream after I go.
You can jump in. We can do the voice chat thing where
Yeah.
you just jump into a voice chat and talk.
And I mean, someone could, of course, just quickly download a screen recording software like OBS and just record it instead of, because streaming requires a little more finagling. And like one of you guys could download a screen recording software and then send me the video, and I can upload it to YouTube. If that's what you guys want to do, that could work. Otherwise, there's no one to pick up the stream.
The end of the game will just have to be a mystery.
Yeah. And I mean, later, I can probably stream a recap of the grand finals game.
Yeah. Bring on Piazza and Cannoli. That's what I
Yeah.
always want to know. Like, all right, at this point, what were you thinking
Right.
Yeah.
when you decided to make this move or that move or whatnot? Some of that. So I think Gyatso is really debating on moving his northwest rhododendron up since he can't wheel. I think that's he deciding whether he wants to go that route or not. But because it puts the orchid in prime
he actually
location to stop him.
he is 2 moves away. He moves his northwest rhododendron up to like -5-4, then moves his chrysanthemum up to 7-4, and boats his southwest chrysanthemum to diagonally to -3.
But I don't think the orchid will let him do that. I think as soon as he moves the rhododendron up, the orchid will.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying,
I think moving the chrysanthemum up first.
the thing is, it doesn't really matter how far up, since you can go up to 3 tiles. Like if you go up to -5-4 instead of something adjacent to the orchid.
But the orchid will just move.
That's fair.
That's why if
Orchid
you
will
move
move.
the rhododendron
Yeah.
first, that's what I'm trying to figure out how he could use bait with the chrysanthemum and then use his lotus, but it would take an extra move.
Yeah.
He can't move his lotus anyway because it's between 2 clashing tiles.
Yeah.
So he has to move that rhododendron first, or the chrysanthemum first.
This is quite the game.
Yeah, it is.
And he went with the chrysanthemum going up.
Interesting.
So one move away. Here we go.
Move away.
But Cannoli can block it.
Let's
fairly-
see.
fairly
Yeah, but let's see
easily.
how Cannoli's going to block it.
Yeah, what his choice is. And
One option is drop the northern chrysanthemum.
down.
But that doesn't exactly help. Going up with the orchid probably is more useful.
But if he goes up with the orchid, then the and Cannoli.
Or that.
Wait a minute.
Cannoli
Oh,
blocks in the
Yeah,
south.
yep.
Cannoli blocks it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he blocks it with with clashing tiles, so he can't even bring down the chrysanthemum down to harmonize.
Yeah.
But this also interrupts Cannoli's ring, which makes for potential problems. Unless, actually, look, if Cannoli moves his jade, his 1/-1 jade into the southwest somewhere, he can actually start setting up another ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to take at least
3 to 4 turns.
Yeah.
2-3 turns, but it doesn't actually interrupt his ring as much as could be expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's his better ring than the north-south one.
Right now. Yeah.
Now the question is, what is Gyatso going to do? Which he could always move his southwest chrysanthemum down 3 and to the right 1. But it would move him to 2 moves away from winning instead of just 1.
Yeah.
The other option would be moving his rhododendron up 1, his southeast rhododendron up 1, but then he has to take care of the knotweed.
Yeah.
Or he could move his rhododendron in the east gate. Well, then it's kind of blocking things, but he could move that to 1 north of the other rhododendron, have 2 rhododendrons, but then he'd have to figure out a way to wheel one out of the way eventually.
Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling this is going to go to alternate win conditions.
That's quite likely. Well, no, both parties have 6+ tiles.
Right.
It's too early to call for alternate win conditions yet.
Oh yeah, it's just I have
If it
a
does,
feeling.
I think Gyatso has the advantage still having his rock.
Yeah.
Even though I guess Cannoli, well, no, I guess they both each only have 1
Oh, you know what? So
harmony.
I played Skud Pai Sho with my brother a while. It was like last year, and he was just learning, and he brought something interesting up with the rock. When he first read the rules, he thought that the rock acted like the knotweed, except instead of in the surrounding spaces, on all the axes that it can see. So basically,
Yeah.
tiles that are in line of sight of it can't harmonize. Not just that it blocks harmonies on those lines, but
can't
those tiles
harmonize,
can't
yeah.
harmonize. So it acts
Yeah.
like a knotweed, but linearly. And I brought it up to Scud, and he found it an interesting idea, and he suggested I just I test it out.
That sounds like something that would actually make the rock a bit overpowered.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. I haven't tested it to see how it would be, but just got reminded about it.
Yeah, I mean, there would be no reason, there wouldn't be much reason to use a knotweed then. You would just use 2 rocks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Except for diagonals. That's the only spot
Right.
where it wouldn't hurt you is the diagonal. But still, it would make it pretty
Maybe.
strong. Although in this game, it would only affect 2 tiles. It would only affect
I mean, one of the
single
tiles.
lotus.
An alternative way to
Yeah,
do
one
it.
of those-
Go ahead.
But that lotus is quite important right now. So like.
Right. An alternative
Only
way.
to Cannoli at this point.
Yeah.
Gyatso's not looking like he'll use it, although he very, very well may.
It would be cool if he does find a way to sneak it into his ring. Okay.
You know, if Cannoli and Macchiato really cared about the fans, they would get a double Harmony ring to finish out the tournament.
Oh, true.
That's the only alternate win I like.
So
True.
I do have to go now. It's 12:59.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you guys so much for
Been
joining
a
me.
pleasure. Thank you very much. I guess we can jump into the voice chat and
Yeah.
for anyone who wants.
Yeah, and anyone
keep
who's
looking at
watching,
this
you
game.
can hop in the voice chat, talk to the commentators, talk to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to skedaddle, which means I have to end the stream. I am seriously so excited to see how this ends. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining me, and all of you guys watching, you have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you for hosting us. Bye.